Sometimes, as we grow older, we start to notice who's still walking beside us and who quietly faded away. There are moments when you pick up the phone, scroll through old contacts, and wonder why some people don't reach out anymore. People you once laughed with, shared holidays with. Now it feels like you're the only one still trying. Maybe you've sent the last 5 messages. Maybe you're always the one who calls first. And there's this little ache in your chest that asks, did I matter to them at all? It's a quiet kind of hurt, not loud or angry. Just the tired, lonely ache of a heart that's done so much reaching. After 60, that feeling can grow heavier. Friendships change, family grows busy. Sometimes people forget, and sometimes they just choose to stop showing up. But here's something I want to gently ask you. What if peace matters more now than chasing people? What if the next chapter of your life isn't about holding on, but about letting go, softly, lovingly, so your own heart can rest? You've spent decades caring for others, being there, showing up. Maybe now is the time to care for yourself in the same way. Maybe now is the time to stop chasing and start choosing peace. If you've been feeling this way lately, if you've wondered why some people disappeared, or why the silence from others feels so loud, you're not alone. And this talk is for you. I hope you'll stay with me for a little while. Not because I have all the answers, but because maybe, together, we can find a bit of comfort and a little more peace. As we get older, something inside us begins to change. It's not just the body slowing down or the days getting quieter. It's something deeper. We begin to realize that our time is more precious now. Every phone call, every visit, every conversation feels different. We no longer want to spend our energy chasing after people who don't seem to notice whether we're there or not. When we were younger, we may have bent over backwards to keep certain relationships alive. We forgave too quickly. We explained ourselves too much. We reached out again and again, hoping this time someone would understand us, see us, choose us. But after 60, we start to see the truth more clearly. We cannot make people stay. And more importantly, we don't have to keep trying so hard to make them. There's a kind of peace that comes with accepting this. It doesn't mean we stop loving people, not at all. But it means we begin to love ourselves enough to stop begging for someone else's time or attention. We no longer carry the weight of trying to fix what's broken or to keep alive what has already drifted away. It's not easy to accept that some people were only meant to walk with us for part of the journey. But as we let go of chasing, we start to notice something gentle rising up inside us. A calm, a softness, a breath of relief. Suddenly, there's more room for stillness, more room for peace. Instead of wondering what we did wrong, we begin to whisper to ourselves, I've done enough. I've given enough. I am enough. And with that, we begin to rest, not just our bodies, but our hearts. Peace starts to take root where the chasing ends. There's a moment, often quiet and unannounced, when something inside finally shifts. Maybe it happens while sitting alone with a cup of tea, or during a walk on a peaceful afternoon. You realize that you're not angry at those who've disappeared, just tired. Tired of trying. Tired of hoping they'll change. Tired of feeling like your worth depends on someone else's attention, and in that still moment, something deeper rises to the surface. A new kind of strength. Not the kind that comes from pushing or proving, but the quiet strength of letting go. Letting go not out of bitterness, but from love. Love for your own peace, your own health, your own soul. For many years, we learn to look outward. We measure ourselves by the love we receive, the people who call, the ones who visit. We think, if they care, I must matter. But now, in this later season of life, we are invited to turn inward. What if the most important voice is not theirs, but our own? What if peace isn't found in their return, but in our release? It's a powerful thing to stop chasing, to stop asking, why didn't they stay, and begin saying, it's okay if they didn't. We start to see that our worth was never in their hands. It was always within us, quiet, patient, waiting for us to notice. Forgiveness becomes part of this shift too. Not just forgiving others for drifting away, but forgiving ourselves for holding on so tightly. we were only trying to love. Only. Trying to keep connection alive. And now, we are choosing something else. Stillness. Softness. A peace that doesn't depend on anyone else showing up. There is real power in that. Not loud, not boastful, but sacred. Peace grows not when people return, but when we come home to ourselves. Our hearts don't just carry emotions, they carry weight. The weight of worry, of wondering, of waiting for someone to reach back. And over time, that emotional weight can become physical. You feel it in your shoulders, in your chest, in your sleep. There's a kind of tired that doesn't come from age, but from constantly hoping someone will meet you halfway. And they don't. You may notice the stress in small ways. A racing heartbeat when the phone rings, only to find it wasn't the person you hoped for. Sleepless nights spent replaying old conversations, wondering what went wrong. A heaviness in your body that medicine can't quite fix, because it's not just about your body, it's about your spirit being worn thin. When we keep reaching out to people who don't return the gesture, it can quietly drain us. Not just emotionally, but physically too. High blood pressure, tension headaches, fatigue. The body speaks when the heart carries too much. And after 60, we need to be gentler with ourselves. Our health, both inside and out, depends on it. Letting go of the chase isn't just about emotional peace. It's a form of self-care. It's giving your nervous system a break. It's choosing calm over chaos. And most importantly, it's protecting the energy you still have. For the people who do show up, for the things that bring you joy, for your own well-being. And here's the beautiful thing. When you stop chasing, you start noticing the quiet blessings you may have missed. A neighbor who always waves, a friend who never forgets your birthday, a grandchild who listens a little longer now. These are the relationships that nourish you, the ones that give as much as they take, the ones that don't leave you guessing, even. One true connection is more valuable than 100 half-hearted ones. After 60, that kind of peace is not just important, it's essential. Your heart deserves rest, your body deserves ease, and your life deserves to be shared with those who see you, hear you, and stay. There is a kind of peace that has nothing to do with who calls, who visits, or who remembers. It's the peace that comes when you sit quietly with yourself and feel at home. In the stillness of later life, when the house is quiet and the world seems to slow down, you begin to hear something you may have missed before. It's not the sound of a phone ringing or someone knocking on the door. It's softer than that. It's the gentle voice within you, the one that says, "You are enough, just as you are." There's something deeply spiritual about reaching this point, about learning to rest in your own presence without needing someone else to fill the silence. It doesn't mean you don't love others. It doesn't mean you don't miss them, but it means you're no longer afraid of the quiet. You're no longer afraid of your own company. Think of a calm morning before the world wakes up, the light coming through the curtains, a bird singing in the distance, maybe a cup of tea warming your hands. In those moments, nothing is missing. Everything you need is already there. That's the kind of peace we're talking about. Not lonely, but full of life in a quieter way. Sometimes letting go of people isn't about loss. It's about making space. Space for your own thoughts, your own prayers, your own healing. And when you make that space, something beautiful often comes to fill it. Peace, clarity, faith, or even a new connection you never expected. And if you believe in something greater, in God or love or the universe, then you know this. Peace is sacred. It's not just about letting go. It's about returning. Returning to yourself, to your spirit, to the calm that was always waiting for you beneath the noise. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are exactly where you're meant to be, at the edge of something softer, deeper, and more whole. And in that space, you find not just peace, but home. So here you are, after all the years, all the giving, all the reaching, standing in a quieter space. And maybe for the first time in a long time, you're starting to realize that peace isn't something you wait for. It's something you choose. You don't have to chase anyone anymore. Not to prove your worth, not to feel loved, not to keep someone in your life who no longer chooses to stay. That season is over now. And what comes next can be even more beautiful. Not because others finally show up, but because you do. You show up for yourself. You choose rest. You choose kindness, not just toward others, but toward your own heart. You open your door to people who come willingly, and you stop knocking on the ones that never opened back. Not out of anger, but out of peace. And if there are moments when you still feel that ache, and there will be, I hope you remember this. The love you gave was never wasted. The time you shared, the care you offered, the effort you made, all of it mattered. Even if they never said thank you, even if they never came back, it mattered. Now is the time to let peace in. Let it fill the quiet spaces. Let it soften the old aches. Let it remind you that you are not alone, not in your feelings, and not in this journey. Thank you for spending this time with me today. You didn't need to chase anyone to be here, and you don't need to chase anyone to be whole. You already are. Rest now. You've earned it.